It's ill because you never know how people react to certain things, yo. You can only control how you react. You can only control what you do. You can never really control someone else's reaction. You could anticipate, you could make an estimation, but you might be off, might be on. You can only control how you react, what you do. I say that because I'm gonna tell you a story. I remember one time, right? I left my car parked with the door open. I had my passport in there. I had a couple dollars in there. Peace to the frequency. Share this video, yo. I had the van, right? It's the whip. I left the door open. I didn't even realize. Because what it is it has like this beeping door, right? That you have to open from the front, but it's in the back. The back door opens from the front. So you got to open it from the front. Then you go around back, get out what you need. But you have to remember to go back to the front and re-close it. So one time, I remember I left it open. But what it is I didn't leave the back open. I left the front open. Because you can only lock and you can only open the back door from the front. So I opened it, yeah. Got what I needed, closed it. But I forgot to go back and lock it, right? So I left the door open, wide open, right? And people assume, because they call police. Police start knocking on the door. Police start intruding in our personal space. I wasn't understanding it at first. I'm like, yo, is this because we're targeted individuals? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what's happening, because I don't take police presence lightly, you know, because you have to remain calm and be able to diffuse situations if they begin to arise or get elevated in terms of heated for any reason. Like, if there's passion flowing around and testosterone, that shit could be dangerous, depending on the situation, of course. I don't even think like that, but I think I think that preventative measures for everything is it's better to be safe than sorry in those type of situations, you dig? So then I realized, like, yo, if I see somebody's door open, I'm not calling police. I'm not gonna assume that the worst. Like, why would you call police? You call police for an emergency. You call police when something happened. This didn't happen too long ago, but what I'm trying to explain to you is that I had money in there. I had a passport in there. I had some important documents, like as far as like certificates and, you know, just documents that you need in the system just to move around, right? I had all of this just sitting in the car. I left the car door open. I forgot. Honest to God, I just forgot. So I walked away. The police knocking on the door like, yo, you got ID? Is this your vehicle? I'm like, what the fuck is happening? They're like, oh no, you left this vehicle open. Somebody, we assumed, obviously, the first thing they assumed was that somebody broke into it, right? They assumed that somebody had broken into my joint because the door was left open. They didn't assume that I must have left the door open because the back door only locks from the front. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't assume that. And just now I see somebody's whole trunk open. I didn't think anything negative about it. I was just like, oh, they must have forgot to close their trunk. And that's what I wanted to discuss briefly. Just that on perception. Everything is perception. Your perception of somebody might not be their perception of themselves. Somebody in the same light that they see themselves, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Forget about it. But I'm just saying, you can't control how others move or react. You can only control how you move and how you react. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, when I saw that door open, that trunk open, I didn't think something crazy happened. I should call police. I don't know, somebody must have left the door open by mistake. But when they see my door wide open, they assume the worst. But they really dig deeper, and I left documents in there, I left money in there. Like, truthfully, you know, you secure your belongings when you get out of your vehicle and you lock your doors and shit. But that's the point, that I probably wasn't thinking about securing the vehicle yet, because I was still trying to put stuff inside the vehicle. So by the time when I assumed that I was finished, I didn't realize that I had left that stuff in there. I was just focused on trying to get the things inside of the car out. For example, and that's what I'm saying, that you can't control how others react. Like, somebody saw that door open and they assumed the worst. They was like, oh, it belongs to the gentleman that's in there, and call the police. You never know. And I know what it is. Peace to God. Peace to the frequency. Share this video really quick though. But that's what I'm saying. I know what it is. It's like they didn't assume. They assumed based off just my presence or how I look that if like my vehicle's left with the door open for several hours, I couldn't have just forgotten. I must have something must be up. Yo, call police. You see, and this is people's perception of you. So you have to understand that you might be perceived by people in a light other than how you perceive yourself. But you can't control how they react to you. What they try to do. They're gonna crucify you. All you can do is control yourself. All you can do is be the best you. All you can do is control the way you behave in your perception. So if I see a door open, right, for example, I'm not calling police. I'm not gonna assume the worst. I'm gonna really assume it just happened, and that's what it reminded me of when it happened to me. But niggas had police knocking on my door. I guess it's just the vibe that you give off to people, right? It strikes them. But since they're pumped full of fear, since all they know is propaganda, they assume the worst. They think what the news is giving them, they filter their thoughts through there. So they live in fear, you know? So if they see your door open and it's turning into evening, it just looks scary to them. But if they really pay attention, like I had documents on the seat neatly placed there, like clearly. I had a fucking cup in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell somebody was just in there. Like, I don't know. It just was weird to me. And right now I see a trunk open and there's stuff all in the trunk. But I just looked at it, but I didn't assume anything. Like, yo, oh my God, call the cops. This person might be trying to load something in there or some shit like that. I don't think like that. But that's just what I wanted to touch on briefly. But one thing I did wanted to talk about was a post that I seen, right? And it just sparked me. It says, I'm mixed with hood, woke, loner, and revolutionary. And what that means is people's perception of you, right? The way people make you up in their mind has nothing to do with you. You can't feel obligated to fit in someone else's box. You can't feel obligated to be with someone else wants you or needs you to be for them. You have to be who you know you are and who God wants to be through you. You have to allow your energy to vibrate in its true essence. You dig what I'm saying? Like, the reason I express myself is because I've always been expressive, right? The reason why I talk is because I've always talked. So if I try to put myself in a situation or position in life where my throat chakra is blocked, where I can't talk, then obviously my energy won't be vibrating the way I need it to vibrate. Just so I can feel content, just so I can feel happy in terms of being able to challenge anything, being able to go at any challenge, being able to hurdle over any obstacle. I need to be able to just express myself. This is why I think communication is imperative just in life. You know, we have to be able to learn how to communicate. This is why I think like language is a weapon, really. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you at. Because when you in these foreign countries, if you don't speak the language, you know you have to move a certain way. But if you do speak the language, you can go into the trenches with the people and use language as your weapon, as your protection, as your shield, to be able to blend in with the people, not become prey to them, not allow them to feel like you're there to take over their land or something, or you're there to bring something to the table and they're not welcome. You know what I'm saying? Language will help you communicate with them and allow them to feel welcome and allow them to even try to help you if it's in their heart, of course. So I'm just saying, like, this is why I speak, right? That's my energy. That's my true energy. So I'm hood. I'm not hood like, yo, that shit ain't tough, nigga. That shit ain't gangster. No, I'm hood because I grew up in the slums of New York City. That's why I'm hood. I'm hood because the culture that we gravitated towards as youngins was a culture that perpetuated violence, that perpetuated sexism, that perpetuated feminism, just all type, well, not feminism, but feminist men. But this is the type of culture that's self-destructive. So that's why I'm hood, because I've been self-destructive. I've been indulging in behaviors that weren't good for me. And at the same time as knowing it wasn't good for me, it didn't prevent me from doing it. It was just an ignorant state of being, a state of mind. But there are a lot of woke beings and talented individuals individuals in the hood. You see what I'm saying? So being hood doesn't make you, like the bottom of the totem pole. Being hood makes you much more rich in terms of culture, in terms of character, because character is built during times of obstacles, of inconvenience, of challenges, not comfort and convenience. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you build your character. So I think that's what the hood does. It kind of builds your character. It kind of teaches you who you are. It kind of seasons you for life, and it kind of gives you some kind of compass, like a guideline for morality. It's just different situations in life when we're dealing with people, places, and things that we must interact with. You know what I'm saying? The hood gives you that. So that's being hood, but mixed with a bit of woke is somebody. When I say woke, I don't mean socially aware, and I don't mean consciously ascended to the point where it's like I'm a Goku guru, I'm a master who doesn't vibrate through the Kundalini. No, being woke to me means I'm a truth seeker. I'm an informationist. I want to know, if that's even a word. I just want to know things. I want to know the origins of things. I want to know, why do we do certain things? Why do people follow things blindly? Why is the system put in place in the way that it is? I like to see things from a broader perspective. That's why I would consider myself woke in that sense. Not like I have more divine knowledge of self than anyone, because all this divine knowledge is of self. So it's your knowledge. It's embedded in your DNA genetically. You were born with it. Can't nobody give it to you. Can't nobody take it from you. You dig? And bit of a loner, what that means is I understand the imperative and extreme importance of isolation. That's what I mean by I'm a loner. I'm a loner because I like how my energy vibrates when I'm alone. I appreciate time to myself. I appreciate being able to have my thoughts and not no one else's thoughts. You see what I'm saying? I appreciate creating a family that is like a nucleus, that moves on one accord, who lives in harmony. I appreciate just being able to be a loner, because sometimes in crowds it's like we're not able to fully rise to our potential because we're dependent on our energy. Some of us are power sources in terms of energy, and people feed off us. And other people need energy to feed off of, right? So that's what makes me a loner, because although I feel like I'm a power source of energy, I do feel drained at times when I'm interacting or dealing with people who are not on the same frequency of thought as I am. I feel like that becomes small talk. That becomes like small talk, and I feel like that's a sin. Like anytime you open up your throat chakra, you should be healing. Anytime you speak, you should be moving forward. You should be helping yourself grow. You should be becoming a better version of what you already are through speaking, through information, through studying, through becoming a better version of what you are, of who you are. Dig? So, and I'm a revolutionary. To me, what that means is not revolution like I'm gonna revolt against the system, like rage against the machine, like blindly go to war. That's not what I mean by revolutionary. What I mean by revolutionary is freedom fighter. Someone who believes that all humans are innately and cosmically ordained certain things in this existence. And it's not a luxury. It's a necessity. We don't have to negotiate for clean water, for fresh food. We don't have to negotiate for fresh oxygen, for the best sunlight. We don't have to negotiate for the best of environment, for the cleanest of thoughts. This is something that cosmically we are ordained. But we can't have our hand out asking for that. We have to take it. We have to create it. We have to make it ourselves. We have to make that the reality. That's why I feel like I'm a revolutionary, because I want to dedicate my life and all my energies to freeing myself mentally first, of course, because the universe is mental, but also on this physical plane. We understand that we belong closer to a place where our cells can vibrate and thrive at a higher frequency. We know that. So That's where I belong. That's why I say revolutionary. Not like, because at the end of the day, they used to say the revolution would not be televised because it's being digitized, really. The revolution is online now, you know? Because it's like this. You might see me in my reality, and like I said, you might assume the worst. If I leave my door open, you might call police on me. Like, yo, what is he doing? Like, what happened? Did something happen? Like, just, you might have fear in your heart because of the things that you allow in your subconscious mind. You see? But me, myself, if I see something like that, I'm not taking it to that extent. So the revolution is something that we create. The revolution is something that we define. What is revolution to you? What is freedom to you? What are you fighting for? What are you living for? You know what I'm saying? This is something that we create. This is something that we define. Can't nobody give you your freedom, just like they can't tell you what freedom is. Because this is all the mental plane. Somebody could, your perception of somebody could be that they're in hell, like they're suffering. And they could be in a better blissful place of happiness mentally than you are. That is what assumption does. That is what consciousness is. It is the way you perceive things. Show you how conscious you truly are. You see what I'm saying? Another post I seen, right, was like this man on the bus, right? And it's like two different men on the bus, actually. And one is looking out of one side of like this mountain range. And he's like looking at nature, looking into the sky, looking into the sun, and he's just smiling. And then the other guy is just looking at the wall of the mountain where it's like no life, just straight, you know, rocks and just the sound of the bus movement. And he's like in a depressed state. And that's perception. If he was just to turn his vision and look outside the window, he would see that sunshine. He would see that blissful nature just thriving. But it's all about perception. It's how you see things. Somebody could be dancing in the rain and singing, two-stepping. Somebody could be on their phone just trying to express their energies while it's windy out, enjoying their day. And somebody else could just be like, damn, it's too fucking windy out here. Like, I'm trying to fly this kite. Or, you know, it's the perception of things. It's how you look at things. Me, I'm like, wow, I feel myself. See, because all is one, right? That's I'm me, brushing up against me, feeling me, interacting with me in this very moment to allow myself to remind myself that I'm self-aware in this moment. Peace to the frequency, peace to all the gods in the room. Share this video. Y'all already know what it is. So that's what I mean by I'm a bit of a loner, a bit of a woke person, a bit of a revolutionary, and I'm a little bit hood. But I'm not hood because I'm tough, because I'm gangster. I'm hood because I was raised in the gutter. So the culture that I came up in was like broken English. Taking pride in creating a dialect and saying words broken. ¿Tú me entiendes? Like saying factory and just saying shit like este tigre está pa' sigri. ¿Tú me entiendes? Like just having our own vernacular. We took pride in that. That's the part of me that's hood. And that's the part of me that's expressive as well, because we used to argue about NBA stats and ignorant shit. You know, barbershop talk. We used to just talk about things that weren't elevating our consciousness. Now, motherfuckers don't want to hear what I got to say, which in my reality, for the most part, unless it's my immediate family. So it's like, I'm a preacher online. I'm a missionary online. But when I say preacher, right, I don't mean a preacher in church. I mean someone who is going to continuously remind you of your divinity, even if it ain't through showing you my divinity. I'm here to remind you that you are the supreme being, the most high. You are gas, solid, liquid. You are carbon 666. You know what I'm saying? You are it. Everything you pray to is you. So I'm here to remind you of that, because sometimes I be needing to hear that shit, because this journey is not easy. The fuck is you talking about? We the first generation. Listen, just like when I was completely immersified in that system, right? I was the first of my generation that went to college, graduated college. I thought that was an accomplishment. I thought that was official tissue, like a ref with a whistle. Now I'm the first generation in my family to want to break free of the colloquial shackles that we have been placed, that has been placed upon us. I am the first in my family to want to speak the truth, to want to look like the truth, to want to look like the Christ that we read of read about our whole life. I'm the one that want to follow in the footsteps of Jesus and our family, and when that so-called family. Because if that was family, then y'all would not only be supportive of me, but y'all would also be walking right behind me, because y'all understand that I'm only truly digging deeper into what the culture that we were given as well. Part of the culture. That's another part of the hood. Let me tell you something. When you see these botanicas, I don't even know what they call them, but in the hood they call them botanicas. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in Little DR. It's like this place. It's like a I don't want to call it a spiritual store or a religious store. It might be like a, I don't know if it's a, it might be just for like voodoo. I don't know. It might be Santeria. I don't want to say and misspeak. So these stores, they sell candles, beads, they sell all type of stuff, right? But here's the kicker. All that stuff they sell is to promote Christianity in the poor neighborhoods, in the hood. ¿Tú me entiendes? So that's another thing that we had to download into our subconscious mind, and then figure out a way to decipher, figure out a way to debunk, which was the Bible, Christianity, Jesus Christ being your Lord and Savior who died for your sins. Instead of digging deeper into the consciousness of the Christ, into what he stood for and the things he did in his story. So I'm hood because of that too, because I was taught to be an upstanding Christian man. And what's funny is I grew up with two different parallel universes. So this was always who I was, because I had a male aspect, a father figure that was Muslim, that was Pakistani, that was literally what you would consider like a Hindu, like a 7-Eleven, like literally. So that was my introduction into Islam. That was the total opposite of Christianity. So I definitely clinged on to Islam because it was the total opposite of Christianity. I grew up forever hearing about Jesús Santísimo. Ay, Jesucristo. Gran poder de Dios. Just hearing about Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. But the image of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Christ. The image of that Vatican pedophilic image. You understand that iconic, cultural, impactful image, but that's vibrating on a satanic frequency. That is the image we grew up with. That presence is in all the homes. You see? So they didn't know they was doing voodoo on themselves. They was just castigating themselves to be mentally stuck into that paradigm of Christianity. So as soon as I was introduced to that male aspect, to that father figure as a child, and he was a Muslim, he looked different, he smelled different, he ate different. What I mean by he smelled different was like he used oils instead of colognes. So he smelled different. I was like, the fuck? Different. He even had a stubble beard. So it's like he had facial hair. And he had actual, like, he just looked different. And the clothes he wear was like garbs. And, like MC Hammer sweats, it almost looks like. These big, and these shirts that were almost like looking like onesies. Like, they just dressed different, and it looked comfortable, and it looked freeing, and it was just the total opposite of Christianity. So I gravitated toward it, and I was into that. I was eating my little goat, curry goat and all that, my chapati bread. Yes, I was eating that, but I was always just gravitating toward why do they dress like this? Why do they eat like this? What are their beliefs? Who do they believe in? Who do they pray to? And that's where I started to discover some discipline as well. Like, because I would see him pray 5 times a day, and that to me was like outrageous. I was like, yo, no matter where we at, he grabs, like, whether it's a blanket or a nice rug, and places it down and faces in the direction and prays 5 times a day. I would see this as a kid, so I was just like I want to be that disciplined. I want to be that connected to my supreme self. I want to give that much reverence to my creator, to my most high self, to my supreme essence, because I was just inspired by that. So it just made me really dig deep into like religion. Then I started, after religion, you realize it's all a mental fuck. So, and the church is a business. You realize that it's like crazy you start going into the revolutionary aspect of history, specifically Black American history. So I started studying that, and that just turned me into like a revolutionary for real, in terms of like wanting to fight for something, wanting to stand for something that I know is right though, that the world knows is right though, not something that I want to create in my mind that's right, just something that I know is right. Like, yo, we all deserve the best of environments, the best of foods. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to, we shouldn't have to be expressing our energies through a system, through a subculture. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to try to be like our oppressor to feel accomplished. We should have our own culture. And we do have our own culture if we just look at the ancestors. Where were they? They were in nature. What were they doing? They were dancing. They were creating. They were immersified in their own culture. They weren't outside trying to. They weren't living as the oppressor. You understand what I'm saying? They always try to hold. The ancestors always try to hold on to a bit of their culture, even if that culture is based in miseducation. That is their sense of entitlement, their sense of true self-dignity and respect, that they have their own culture, even if they don't know that the truth about the Bible and Jesus and Christianity. They feel like Jesus is gonna save them, Jesus is gonna help them. So it pains me to know that. You know what I'm saying? It pains me. This is why I do what I do, because there's people that come from where I come from that look at me to this day and they can't vibrate on my frequency. They can't even have a conversation with me because to them it'll turn left, you know? And to me, it just won't be flowing properly. But these people still have these ideologies, these doctrines, these schools of thought that were given to them that's not real. And it's time to realize that we are the supreme essence. We are that greatness that we pray to. We are the energy that we need to push forward. Peace to the goddess. That's what I wanted to tell you. Yeah, I'm hood. Yeah, I'm hood. Yeah, I'm hood. Yeah, I'm a revolutionary. And it is by my definition of it, not yours. This is the revolution. It's taking place. You hear this frequency that is permeating. This is an energy. I just tapped into it like you tapped into it. And I'm just an expressive soul. You might be a soul that expresses himself in a different form. I articulate, I speak. This is how my energy appreciates when I allow it to vibrate. If I hold my thoughts in, my throat chakra is not pleased. If I hold my thoughts in, then I'm not able to say what I need to say. So just to go back to discipline, I wanted to say that sometimes you have to be able to give up what you have and able to get what you want. And that's called discipline. Sometimes you gotta be broke for a minute to make your dream happen. Sometimes you gotta lose someone in your life to create space for what you truly want in your life to come in. So sometimes it takes discipline to manifest truly anything worth having. Not sometimes, all the time. Anytime you're gonna manifest anything worth having, it's gonna take discipline, it's gonna take focus, it's gonna take time, specifically. Time. And although time is an illusion, we are not, listen, we're not vibrating in the quantum field when we're manifesting in this physical plane. We are manifesting from a corporeal space, from a linear space. We're not from a limited space. We're manifesting on this dense realm. When we should begin to manifest as we travel the astral planes. When you sleep is when you do your greatest manifestations, because that is where you tapping into the higher self. That is when you are interacting with the ancestors on the ethereal plane. That is where you truly come from. That is where you connect back to the puzzle that you are a piece of. So discipline is going to take discipline for you to get what you want. What do you want? What do I want? I want what my definition of freedom is. And I'm getting it slowly but surely. And I remind myself every day, you've came a long way. Just the other day I was live and some guys jumped into the room that I came up with in the hood. And when I say I came up with it in the hood, I was the worst of the people I knew. Like, I was the most low down, robbing ass, thieving ass, hustling ass nigga I met. Like, facts. I'm the nigga you didn't want your kids around because he would have influenced them. That was me. You dig? So, being that they jumped in the room, it humbled my spirit. It made me see how far I've came. Not to say that that's who they are. That's just to say that's who I was when they knew me. You see what I'm saying? So, it just made me appreciate my journey and not be so hard on myself. Things aren't the way I feel like they should be, or that I know that they're gonna be. I'm not patient enough. But I got to understand it takes discipline, it takes time. And also that I gotta love my own self and my own life. Like, this is not about anyone else but you.com. At you. You know what I'm saying? Follow you. It's all about you. You know what I'm saying? It says you are closer than most. That's crazy. You know why? You know what that just reminded me of, that message? Of this image I saw, right? And the illustration was a guy digging. It was two guys digging, right? One of them was like about to hit gold, but he was turning around, going in the opposite direction, ready to give up. And the other guy was like focused in that direction. He was still digging. You feel me? So it's like you never know. You never know how close you are until you get there. But if you give up, you'll never know how close you were. See what I'm saying? To me, what freedom is sovereignty, it's self-sustainability. To me, freedom is peace of mind. To me, freedom is happiness, harmony. To me, freedom is family. They're synonymous, freedom, family. I feel like you define what freedom is, because at the end of the day, freedom to you might just be a bigger pool. Like, facts, I need to swim more. I need a bigger pool in the yard. So it depends, you know what I'm saying? Freedom is all perception again. And freedom is self-realized. It's self-described, self-defined. Nobody can tell you what freedom is, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Yeah, we gotta vibrate, and we gotta bring forth. We gotta manifest from the 5 to the 3. Yeah. That's just 100, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, we all on this frequency. The world, the planet is heating. It's feeling our presence. It's feeling our energy everywhere we go. They're starting to cater to us now. If you really look into it, if you look deeper and shit like that, you're starting to see like little T-shirts, the biggest corporations is trying to implement, like, you know what I'm saying? More of a holistic type of conscious approach to things. They trying to, appeal to the masses because they see like we waking up for real. Like, and the more you post, the more you speak, the more you type, the more you do your work in terms of freeing our people, the more you do work towards the righteous path in the direction of divine knowledge itself, the greater your treasures will be in heaven. You got to store your treasures up in heaven. Everything you do, you might think like it don't mean nothing. All you did was make a post, a big deal. But that post echoes into the future. And it is part of the trail. It is part of the thread that you are weaving into the future. Because my belief is, I hate the word vegan. Vital sounds way better. Hey, factory. Real shit. Like, my vital signs is lit. So I'm not vegan, I'm vital. I like that. That's cool. Peace to the gods on earth. Yeah. Peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses all day, man. So, fact. I like to say, plant-based or whatever. I just like to look at it like, I don't want to eat flesh and shit and blood and all that. Because that shit makes my body feel I don't feel good. I feel sick when I eat like that. I ain't gonna hold you. And I don't even like how it comes out of me. Like how my energy comes out of me. Feel me? But when I eat of the plants and of the earth, like, I'll be amazed at what comes out of me. Like, wow, this shit is truly fertilizer. Like, I could see why plants could extract nutrients from this and truly grow and thrive. Because all this is waste for my body, but it ain't waste for something else. My body already extracted what it needed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, plant-based sounds lit. Because plant-based doesn't have such a negative connotation. But vegan is like, vegan, they think soft. You think a deer caught in the headlights. Vegan, you think a nigga that's tender dick. Vegan, you think a nigga who's soft. You don't think a big, strong black gorilla vegan. You think a small little, I don't know, like a possum or some shit, or a rat vegan. You don't think of the biggest, the strongest, the toughest, the oldest. You know what I'm saying? You don't think of them as the vegans. You know what I mean? You don't look at the elephant as the vegan. You know what I mean? You don't look at the gorilla, like, as the vegan. So it definitely has a negative connotation. That's why I'm no longer vegan. I'm just no longer eating. I just know what I'm not gonna eat and what I am gonna eat. Goddamn. And if that doesn't explain anything, I'ma just point you in the direction of who, designed the alkaline diet. Period. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Science is unrefutable. We electrical beings, right? If we eat electric, obviously we become more charged. We have more energy. We become a more powerful source of that energy. Simple. Your phone is an electrical device. The more you charge it, the more battery it has. How do you charge your electrical device? That electrical impulse beaming down on you every day. Amen-Ra, the sun. That is your charger. That is your plug. The sun is the plug. Simple pimple. The sun is your plug, because if the sun takes a day off, it's over for everything ever, forever. What do you talk? If the sun stops, nothing, everything ceases. I worship the sun. I call my family AGR. Always give reverence. Always giving reverence. That's who we are. We the family that always gives reverence to another grand rising. Period. If you think you're having a bad day, try missing a day. Try missing a day. Try to live a day. Any day above ground is a good day. You have the opportunity in front of you to do what you need to do, to grow, to become a better version of yourself, to turn your weaknesses into your strengths, to rise and blossom. You have this opportunity. China making fake sun. They doing all type of shit to the sun. You can see how they make the sun beam back at itself. It's like they spray this sheet over the sky to try to block the sun. But they can't disconnect you or block you. It doesn't matter what they do. Feel me? Like, wherever you go, you're going to have a little throne with a nice little crown, with your little grapes on the side. Boom, boom, you're going to be God no matter what. Like, because you the chosen. That's a fact. It doesn't matter what they do. But what does matter is what you allow them to do. Because that's all they doing, what you allow them to do. You have to remove yourself from that low frequency space. And don't get it twisted, my nigga. This ain't a fantasy. We got to fight for what we want. And this is us fighting. That's it. This is us fighting. It's being upstanding, righteous men. This is us fighting. We're creating good karmas, grapes and all that. That's a fact. And that's just to touch on the surface of how we belong and what we deserve. Like, come on. Not only are we God in human flesh, we the kings of the earth. Like, we have dominion over all life forms, not because we're better than them, but because we're more understanding and compassionate than them. Because we know not to just press a button and wipe shit out. We have compassion. We're not better than the animals. We shouldn't eat the animals either. They're not for you. They're not necessary for you to eat. There's different ways for you to get everything your body needs. Everything. Follow them. See what they do. Look at them, observe them. You be like, yo, these animals is intelligent. And they can't even get outside of what they were programmed to be. That's what makes us unintelligent at times. That's what takes us away from our divinity. The fact that we have the choice to do something outside of our designed purpose. We can do something out of our designed purpose. We could go put on a suit and tie and work for 65 years. That is not you serving your purpose. Not saying you can't find your purpose through that, but your true purpose is to become God realized. Is to live. And let me just throw this in there. I'm just talking about the English language. When you look at the Merriam-Webster's dictionary definition of the word God, it means an entity, a person, a thing, with control of a specific aspect of creation. So to me, the woman is God. That's another video for another time. To me, the woman is God. On the basic level, I never seen a man have a child. To this day, you still see women bring forth life. Basic level. On a deeper level, the mitochondrial DNA, the XY chromosome, the XX chromosome. If your mother, if your wife, if your daughter, if the women in your life aren't the closest thing to God that you've ever seen, then I don't know what is. And now, don't get it twisted either. Not just she is God. The Holy Trinity, man, woman, and child form God. Man and woman are a component of God. Man, woman, and child form God realized. You understand what I'm saying? This is for the frequency. I just need y'all to know that whatever you know you need to do and it's in your heart and you feel like doing, if you're not doing it, you lying to yourself. You have to express yourself if that's what's in your heart. If you are an artist, you have to draw. If not, you're not. Don't wonder why you're not happy or depressed, because you're not letting your energy vibrate. You're allowing others to stagnate your energy, but it's not their fault. It's your fault. It's no one else's fault. Your life is your creation. So if you allow yourself to express yourself fully and honestly and authentically, you will be happier. So every time I see a post that strikes me, I want to talk about it, because not only do I want to understand why it struck me, obviously it's relatable, you know, I can resonate with it, but I want to discuss it because it struck me, and I want to utilize the energy that I feel in a positive way, in a way that if it ain't gonna help me, it's gonna help somebody else, and if it ain't gonna help nobody else, it's gonna help me. That's the point. That's why I'm doing this. Feel me? He said, hello, peace to the gods on earth. Share this video, y'all. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna end it there. I am hood because I was raised in the slums of New York City. Not because I'm tough or I'm gangster or I think I'm cooler than nothing. I'm hood because that was the culture that I came through. The hood mentality, hip hop, watching Goodfellas, watching Scarface, so much that I could recite it word for word. I could describe the scene that the dialogue is happening in. I don't take pride in that. I want to be able to decipher and articulate the meta nature the same way. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to take pride in, not that. So that's what makes me hood. You see what I'm saying? That I came up in the culture, but even coming out of that culture, you can still find your purpose. You can still find who you're supposed to be and where you belong, because it's like derivative and bastardized versions of that throughout the world. You see what this is supposed to be and how to refine it and how to fix it. You know, you're not supposed to be a preacher in your own church. You're supposed to be a person who speaks the truth. And obviously I can't go to every door and knock on everyone's house, so I just put it out. I put it out on a platform that I feel like it's public. So whoever's supposed to gravitate toward it will. So that's just the point of it. So that's why I feel like I'm hood. Why I feel like I'm a bit of a woke person is not because I have more consciousness than anyone else. I feel like I'm woke because I'm a truth seeker. I'm constantly trying to grow and get better. And when I don't understand things, I'm trying to understand them on a deeper level. I'm trying to get that understanding from them, because that's what love is, and I love me. See? So I got to understand things. I got to give the best of myself to things and expect the best of things for myself. I expect the best of things for myself. So that's why I think like I'm woke, because I'm a truth seeker. I constantly want to enlighten. That's what awakens me. Information enlightens me, so I feel woke because the light is now on, the bulb upstairs. So that's why I feel like I'm woke. Why I feel like I'm a loner is because I understand what isolation is. I understand how our energy vibrates when we're in an isolated state, how we can truly feel our presence, you know, and that then we could begin to expound and build upon that and truly allow ourselves the freedom to cleanse our mind, our body, our spirit, and our soul. This is why I feel like I'm a loner, because I don't want to have a negative connotation attached to the word loner, like I'm antisocial. Yeah, I'm antisocial if it's going to a bar to drink, but I'm not antisocial if we're going to open mic night and this spoken word and this incense burning and guys and girls is just commiserating and speaking and harmonizing, you know what I'm saying? I ain't a loner then. But I'm a loner in this system. I would be considered that, because it's like I'm the nigga by the tree talking to his phone. Like, yeah, that's me. And why I feel like I'm a revolutionary is because the people who I wanted to emulate, the only people I wanted to be like in life was the people, not only the martyrs, but the true revolutionaries, the true ancestors who stood for something, who yo, at the end of the day, that's who made me a man. When I would hear Malcolm X speak, and he would say things like, every time you open that liquor bottle, that's a government seal you're breaking. And obviously he would talk about Harlem, and Washington Heights, Harlem is the same thing. If it's like a stone throw, it's like what? It's like you could walk anyway. So when he would talk, I would like, oh my God, his spirit vibrated me. And obviously he was assassinated like literally 10 city blocks up from where I grew up. So it's like it was like a thing to go see, you know, the Audubon Ballroom. To me, it was like a thing. So I was inspired by him. I was inspired by Minister Farrakhan. I was inspired by Marcus Garvey. I was inspired by musical artists as well, like Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas. Feel me? Nas had me in the trends in the hood. I knew I was intelligent. I knew I could articulate myself. I knew there's a better vernacular. I knew we could speak. When I heard Illmatic, I was like a breath of fresh air. And it was funny as that shit came out like 9-2, 9-3, like early 9-4 type. And obviously I didn't catch it then. I had to go back and do my homework when I did, you know what I mean? When I did vibrate on that frequency, I know I can't be what I want to be. When I did the homework on him and I heard Illmatic, I was like, So we always were here. He was always like, Nas is like the Afrocentric Asian, half man, half amazing. Because in my physical, I can express through form, delete stress like Motrin and excess strong. I drink my wet with Medusa, give her shotguns in hell from the spliff that I lived in hell. Like, that was just my guy. Once he started enlightening me to the fact that you can express your energies and still remain who you are. You feel what I'm saying? Like, who I am is a bit of a loner. I'm a woke person. I'm a revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? I'm hood. But who I've always been is just someone who likes to articulate themselves. Someone who's always trying to express and understand and just seek knowledge and truth. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. I just wanted to close that out. If you're not doing what you know is in your heart, then you're not truly living. Do what's in your heart. Allow your energy to be expressed. Don't worry about how others feel about you. Get rid of vanity. I don't care how you perceive me. I care how I perceive me. But I do have to be careful of how you perceive me, because it could be dangerous to you or me. So with that being said, you have no choice, yo. You are the chosen. Peace to the gods. Share this video.